The games may be over for now, but the questions linger. What drove the recruiter to lure innocent players into the arena? What secrets lie behind the front man's sinister smile? And what fuels Gi-hun's relentless pursuit of revenge? In this video, we'll unravel the mysteries of Squid Game Season 2's ending, and then delve into the complex backstories and motivations of these three pivotal characters. Squid Game Season 2 has delivered yet another gut-wrenching finale, leaving us with even more questions than answers. If you thought the stakes couldn't get higher, think again. From Gi-hun's failed uprising to shocking betrayals and that ominous mid-credits scene, we're diving deep into the season's explosive ending. Ready to uncover every hidden detail? Let's go! Season 2's final episode, Friend or Foe, picks up right where Episode 6's tied vote left us, with tensions boiling over. The division between players who want to end the games and those determined to continue has reached a breaking point. And what happens when you put desperate people in a confined space with no way out? Absolute chaos. In a deadly brawl in the men's restroom, 5 players meet their end, including TOP's character, Thanos. It's a brutal reminder that in the Squid Game, no one is safe. But leave it to Gi-hun to come up with a plan, one that's ambitious, desperate, and ultimately doomed. After the restroom fight, Gi-hun senses that another clash is inevitable during the night. His solution? Use the chaos as a distraction to take down the masked men and escape. The plan is bold. When the nighttime violence breaks out, Gi-hun and his allies hide under their bunks, waiting for the masked men to arrive. Once they do, Gi-hun's team launches their surprise attack, stealing weapons and attempting to storm the control room. Sounds genius, right? Well, it's Squid Game, so, of course, things go horribly wrong. Here's why Gi-hun's uprising falls apart. First, the players are heavily outnumbered. The masked men come prepared, and there are just too many of them for Gi-hun's group to handle. Even with Yeonju's military skills, they're quickly overwhelmed. Second, there's Dae-ho. Supposedly a Marine, Dae-ho returns to the dormitory to get more ammo, but he fails to bring it back. Turns out, he's not exactly the combat expert he claimed to be. And then there's the biggest twist, the front man. He's been one step ahead this entire time, luring Gi-hun and his allies into a trap. When Gi-hun and Yoongbei run out of ammo and are surrounded, the front man reveals himself, killing Yoongbei in a devastating moment that leaves Gi-hun utterly broken. Gi-hun's plan wasn't just about survival. It was about hope. Hope that they could fight back, escape, and end the games once and for all. But the front man shatters that hope in the cruelest way possible. Instead of killing Gi-hun, the front man leaves him alive, forcing him to live with the guilt of his failed uprising and the blood on his hands. It's a psychological punishment far worse than death, one that ensures Gi-hun will think twice before rising up again. But just when you think it's over, Squid Game Season 2 hits us with a mid-credits scene that's equal parts thrilling and terrifying. The surviving players are marched back to the red light green light arena, but this time, there's a new twist. A male doll looms ominously, and it's clear the game has evolved. So, what does this mean for Season 3? For starters, the tournament isn't over. And with many of the players who voted to continue the game still alive, the stakes are higher than ever. Plus, the doll's new design hints at even deadlier challenges ahead. Season 2 also leaves us with plenty of loose ends. What's the deal with Captain Park? His betrayal of Junho sets the stage for more shocking revelations in Season 3. And speaking of Junho, will he finally expose the truth about the games? And let's not forget Gi-hun. He's still alive, but what's next for him after losing his closest ally? Will he try to take down the games again, or has the front man finally broken him? Season 2's finale drives home a brutal truth. Rebellion is nearly impossible in a system designed to crush it. Gi-hun's growth and determination to fight back highlight his resilience, but also the overwhelming power of the system he's up against. The front man's actions perfectly illustrate this theme. By sparing Gi-hun and ensuring his rebellion fails, he delivers a devastating message. Resistance is futile, and the elite's grip on power remains unshaken. As we unpack the explosive ending of Season 2, it's clear that the characters' actions were driven by their complex backstories and motivations. Let's dive deeper into the players' pasts and explore how they shaped the events of the season. Gong Yu's portrayal of the salesman in Squid Game Season 1 left an indelible mark, despite his limited screen time. A man in a suit, challenging strangers to a game of dokji, he was the harbinger of the sinister events to come. Yet, he remained enigmatic, with no backstory or even a name revealed. This mystery around the salesman only deepened audience curiosity, making his expanded role in Squid Game Season 2, Episode 1, one of the most anticipated elements. Season 2 provides a chilling backstory for Gong Yu's character, revealing that the salesman began as a low-level masked guard. Initially tasked with burning bodies, he spent years entrenched in the macabre workings of the games. This dark introduction set the tone for his rise within the organization. His description of being handed a gun as finally being seen underscores how deeply his sense of identity became tied to the Squid Games. It was not just a job, it was a purpose. A pivotal and harrowing moment in the salesman's backstory was when he was forced to kill his own father. This act revealed not just the depravity of the games but also the salesman's complete detachment from humanity. The ease with which he carried out the act signified a turning point. From that moment, he fully embraced his role, finding validation in the power and control the games afforded him. The salesman's motivations are not driven by money or even survival, but by a twisted ideology. He sees miserable, desperate people as trash, unworthy of life. This belief fuels his actions as a recruiter, where he manipulates people into joining the games. His disdain for humanity is encapsulated in his cruel bread or lottery experiment with homeless individuals, where their choices further justify his warped perspective on human nature. The salesman's unwavering dedication to the Squid Games is both horrifying and fascinating. Raised within the operation, he found validation and purpose in its structure, to the extent that he was willing to die for it. His willingness to engage in a deadly game of Russian roulette with Gi-hun reflects his twisted take on destiny, and his belief in the game's ultimate justice. The salesman's interactions with Gi-hun in Season 2 are a clash of ideologies. While Gi-hun views the games and their facilitators as irredeemable, the salesman sees himself as a necessary force, purging the weak and miserable. This philosophical duel adds depth to their conflict, as it's not just about survival but about what it means to live with purpose. In the end, the salesman's unwavering belief in the games and their philosophy led him to risk, and ultimately lose, his life. It was a chilling testament to how deeply the games had consumed him, shaping every facet of his existence. The salesman's life, shaped by the games and their ruthless philosophy, made him the ideal recruiter. His ability to manipulate, combined with his unflinching commitment to the cause, solidified his role within the organization. Despite being killed off in the season's first episode, his presence lingered as a representation of the game's twisted morality. Between Gong Yu's chilling performance and the disturbing revelations about the salesman's past, this character became one of the most compelling aspects of Squid Game Season 2. His backstory not only enriched the series' narrative but also provided a stark contrast to Gi-hun's journey, emphasizing the dark choices that define the game's universe. The frontman takes center stage in Squid Game Season 2, Episode 3, delivering a major twist that redefines the series' power dynamics and delves deeper into his backstory. The episode, aptly titled 001, brings Gi-hun back into the deadly competition. After the new players endure the infamous red light, green light game, the installment ends with a crucial vote on whether to continue the games. The deciding vote comes from player 001, whose face is hidden from view. As he walks away, it's revealed that player 001 is none other than the frontman himself, Inho. This season gives the frontman a bigger role, which makes sense given he's played by renowned actor Lee Byung-hun. Alongside his manipulative presence in the games, we gain insight into his tragic past. Inho's wife was gravely ill, and although she became pregnant, he couldn't afford her medical treatment. Desperate, he borrowed money extensively, but it still wasn't enough. To make matters worse, he was falsely accused of taking bribes and fired from his job, leaving him with no options. He then entered a previous version of the Squid Game, where he emerged as the winner, albeit at great personal cost. Now, the front man's involvement takes on a more sinister twist as he infiltrates the games to monitor and study Gi-hun. This development adds layers to his character, as his motivations appear to be rooted in both his dark past and his twisted philosophical beliefs. Inho's tragic backstory makes his role as the mastermind even more compelling, as it contrasts starkly with Gi-hun's enduring sense of humanity. The frontman's decision to join the games under the alias Oh Young-il aligns with his manipulative nature. Unlike Gi-hun, who believes in the fundamental decency of humanity, Inho is determined to prove that people are inherently self-serving. By posing as Player 001, he positions himself to sabotage Gi-hun's attempts to disrupt the games from within. Inho even befriends Gi-hun in Episode 4, using the opportunity to probe his motives while maintaining an impenetrable poker face. Inho's reasoning for voting to continue the games further illustrates his cunning. When confronted by Gi-hun, he offers a thought-provoking argument about the will of the majority, questioning why one group's preference should outweigh another's. This commentary on democracy and morality adds depth to his character, showing that his manipulation extends beyond the games and into philosophical debates. The choice to have the frontman infiltrate the games mirrors Season 1's iconic Player 001 twist but adds a new layer of tension. Unlike the surprise reveal of Oh-il-nam's true identity, viewers are now aware of Inho's deception, creating a suspenseful experience as they watch Gi-hun unknowingly interact with his adversary. With his dark past, philosophical musings, and growing fascination with Gi-hun, Inho's presence enriches the story while setting the stage for a thrilling confrontation. As the season progresses, it becomes clear that Inho's role is more than just overseeing the tournament. His tragic backstory and personal connection to the games give him a unique perspective, making him one of the most complex villains in Squid Game. With Season 3 confirmed for 2025, fans can expect his story to play an even bigger role in the unfolding drama. And last but not least, Song Gi-hun's return to the deadly tournament in Squid Game Season May 2 come as a surprise to viewers, especially given his decision at the end of Season 1 to confront the frontman and walk away from his flight to America. However, this unexpected development becomes a compelling continuation of his journey as he seeks to dismantle the tournament from within. The season begins with Gi-hun searching for the Salesman, not the island itself, reflecting his plan to bring down the games from the outside. However, his efforts hit a dead end as the Salesman, and those running the games remain one step ahead of him. A pivotal moment comes during a tense encounter with the Salesman, where Gi-hun narrowly survives a game of Russian roulette. When his attempts to infiltrate a Halloween party lead to an ambush, Gi-hun finds himself in a limousine with the frontman. During their conversation, the frontman mocks Gi-hun's obsession with the games, urging him to move on with his life. Gi-hun, however, remains resolute and asks to join the games again. This decision is part of a larger plan, coordinated with Junho, to track the location of the mysterious island using a tracker implanted in a fake tooth. Unfortunately, once Gi-hun arrives on the island, he discovers the tracker has been removed, leaving him isolated and forced to adapt his plan to take down the games from within. Gi-hun is assigned his original number, 456, symbolizing his return to the brutal competition. From a writing perspective, this decision maintains continuity for viewers. In-universe, the reuse of Gi-hun's number serves to dehumanize him, reinforcing the idea that participants are mere numbers in the eyes of the organizers. The front man's repeated use of Player 456 further emphasizes this point, mocking Gi-hun's attempt to disrupt the system. Despite his familiarity with the games, Gi-hun is confronted with new challenges, including rule changes that allow players to vote to end the tournament after each round. This addition serves as a direct challenge to Gi-hun's belief in humanity, as he must convince his fellow players to value their lives over the prize money. His efforts to rally the group begin immediately after red light green light, where he warns them of the deadly stakes. However, his pleas fall on deaf ears, as half the participants vote to continue. With no chance of rescue, Gi-hun pivots to a new strategy, saving as many players as possible while working to end the tournament from within. His prior experience allows him to guide others through the challenges, starting with red light, green light. He successfully helps several players survive by explaining the motion sensor mechanics of the doll. However, Gi-hun's ultimate goal remains stopping the games entirely. The introduction of the frontman as player 001 adds an additional layer of complexity, as it forces Gi-hun to confront a master manipulator who thrives on testing humanity's darker impulses. The frontman seems to relish the opportunity to see if Gi-hun can appeal to the humanity of his fellow players, even as the odds remain heavily stacked against him. Gi-hun's second time in the games presents both familiar and new dangers. While red light, green light serves as the opening challenge, subsequent games are different, ensuring that even returning players like Gi-hun are caught off guard. This shift highlights the unpredictability of the tournament, and keeps Gi-hun on his toes as he navigates the deadly competition. As Squid Game Season 2 progresses, Gi-hun's mission becomes increasingly complex. His resilience and humanity stand in stark contrast to the greed and desperation of his fellow players, and his determination to dismantle the games puts him on a collision course with the frontman. Song Gi-hun's journey in Squid Game Season 2 is one of perseverance, adaptation, and a refusal to surrender to despair. From his initial plan to track the island to his efforts to rally the players and undermine the system, Gi-hun's story is a testament to his enduring humanity. While the stakes are higher than ever, his resolve to end the games ensures a gripping continuation of the series. With Season 3 confirmed for 2025, the battle between Gi-hun and the frontman is far from over, promising even greater challenges ahead. That's it for today's breakdown of Squid Game Season 2's ending. We've explored the twists, turns, and tragic conclusions, and delved into the complex backstories of the recruiter, the frontman, and Gi-hun. But with Season 3 on the horizon, the questions keep piling up. Will Gi-hun find redemption? Will the frontman's true loyalties be revealed? And what's next for the sinister organization behind the games? Stay tuned for more theories, analysis, and discussions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Asian drama content.